Yikes, nightmare lead. Toxicroak probably beats the entirety of our team. Ktwin sends out Ampharos. We're going to have to respect the mud bomb. The opponent gets an early shield advantage, then send out Steelix. Target has been acquired. Ktwin not baiting. Full send in the focus blast. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. These battles today will most certainly shock you. Ktwin, a very talented battler, has sent me a very fun battle submission featuring a double electric backline. I'm sure by now you've realised that Ultra League is now the home of Steelix and Shadow Steelix on the save switch. It is incredibly annoying. That's why we're running Ampharos, not on its new move of Trailblaze, but on that big Hail Mary of Focus Blast. This team is actually very well thought out and put together, because if we do manage to catch a Steel type on the save switch, firstly, no one's going to respect the Focus Blast, because most people are running Trailblaze or Thunder Punch as a secondary move. So there's no point in respecting a move that no one runs. And secondly, you're even less likely to shield, because with Virizion in the lead, you don't really want to give up shield advantage and then get farmed all the way down with Virizion, because it's going to put you in a rough spot. Just for some transparency, Ktwin sent me these battles in the last rotation, so his elo is probably a lot higher than it is in these battles currently. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see Virizion into Giratina, we see the pivot into Ampharos. The opponent attempts to catch the brutal swing onto Cobalion. Ktwin says no, holds the energy, full sends the Focus Blast, and Focus Blast goes shielded. Oh baby, I thought we were going to see a big boom in game number 1. Cobalion fires off the Sacred Sword. Ktwin committing to Focus Blast number 2, forcing the opponent to throw further energy. Despite my huge disappointment that we didn't get a Focus Blast boom in game number 1, Ktwin has done two things here in the mid game. He's obtained himself shield advantage and he's drawn out the fighter that a Heliolisk most certainly does not want to see. Ktwin sends back up Virizion. We can tank multiple Sacred Swords. Ktwin gonna return fire with his own Sacred Sword, securing the knockout on Cobalion. Giratina most likely will be returning. Unlike a lot of Virizions, at least we can hit for neutral with the Stone Edge. Back out comes Giratina. Ktwin continuing to farm up. We easily tank a Dragon Claw, and here's the pivot into Heliolisk. Heliolisk double resisting the Shadow Claws. The opponent now send out Regi Steel. And once again, you can see Ktwin's moveset choice coming in clutch. A lot of Heliolisk opt to run Grass Knot for that ability to one-shot stuff like Swampert. However, as Heliolisk is in the closing position, Ampharos most certainly will be drawing out that water and ground type, so Thunderbolt is advantageous. The second Thunderbolt lands on Regi Steel, getting the opponent deep into the red. Ktwin's going to be able to shield up this next charge move, commit to the full Volt Switch farm down. Then when Giratina does return, my god is that thing in trouble. Ktwin leaves with the back-to-back break-in swipes. Not only does it hit Giratina for super effective, but it's also going to lower their attack. We land the first. We're already at the second. The second going to get Giratina to commit that final protection. I have no idea how the opponent is trying to get rid of this Heliolisk. They fire off the Dragon Claw. Heliolisk easily withstands the damage. The opponent fires off yet another claw, and Heliolisk still standing there, looking pretty, firing off the third break-in swipe. This third break-in swipe going to get Giratina into the red. The opponent dumps one further Dragon Claw. Even if this does knock out, we've got the Stone Edge locked and loaded. However, Virizion isn't needed. Heliolisk going to be closing game number 1 in style. GG's and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, Virizion into Shadow Star Raptor. Holy, that is a spicy pick. We see the pivot into Ampharos, drawing out Skunk Tank. Ampharos will be able to survive the crunch. We see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent fire off the crunch. We survive on minimal HP. And again, we're full sending the Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes unshielded. And just like that, Ampharos takes back switch advantage. The opponent only take 2 Volt Switches and they're already incredibly low. Out comes Heliolisk. As the mid game was so quick, we're going to be able to shield up the close combat, commit to the Volt Switch farm down, and the opponent already says, fuck that, I'm out of here, and we take the dub. Moving on to the next one. 3 for 3 on lost leads, so we're also 3 for 3 on Ampharos save switches. Come on, show me the Steelix. Where are these Steelix hiding? The opponent fire off the Grass Knot. Ktwin farming up, showing great discipline, holding his energy. However, as the opponent continues to stay in, it's time to start unleashing brutal swings. The first brutal swing lands. Ktwin going to invest the shield and look to realign. Ampharos is so incredibly spammy. We're going to outpace this Cresselia to 2 further brutal swings. The first brutal swing goes unshielded. Ktwin opts just to throw the second and not commit to the Volt Switch farm down. The second one goes unshielded. The opponent now send out the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death, and they are not going to appreciate what we've got in the back. Ktwin fires off the brutal swing. The opponent looks like they're committing to the full Incinerate farm down as we see the aggressive pivot into Heliolisk. The opponent fires off the flame charge. Ouch, that hurt. Talonflame opts not to throw the next flame charge, allowing Heliolisk to make the breaking swipe. Breaking swipe forces the final protect shield, but Talonflame running out of HP, forced to dump their energy now. Flame charge does secure the knockout. Ktwin still has one protect shield, too high behind, and it looks like he's sending out Virizion. Oh my days, it's Charizard in the back. Charizard is going to win the CMP tie. However, Ktwin still has one protect shield, too high behind. We shield up the blast burn. Return fire with the Stone Edge. It's going to be high Charizard. Bye Charizard. Get absolutely wrecked back out. Comes Talonflame. And Virizion is going to make the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword is resisted, but still enough to secure the dub. GG's and thanks for playing. It looks like Ampharos isn't the only Pokemon with some big boom potential in today's video. Finally, we win lead. Virizion very dominant against Greedent. However, the opponent safe switch into their own Virizion, and we don't really have any response for this. Our two electric types don't really fancy the work. However, as Ktwin has got the energy lead, we should be able to win this mid-game matchup. However, I'll be honest, this is a very long, boring, drawn-out matchup of two very spammy, bulky Pokemon just spamming out charge moves at one another. When I see matchups like this is a very good reminder to everyone why I love Shadow Pokemon, because I'm here for a good time and not a long time. I don't know any Shadow Pokemon that could tank so many charge moves. The opponent looking to make a play for switch advantage, and Ktwin looks like he's happy with Virizion's contribution. We've got the opponent's Virizion so low that we can send out Ampharos, commit to the Volt Switch farm down and leave, hopefully with a Focus Blast and ready to surprise that returning Greedent. We shield once. Do get the full Volt Switch farm down. The opponent sends out Greedent, and the question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Come on, another Focus Blast shielded. I just want to see the booms, I'll be honest. The opponent do invest a very good Protect Shield on the Focus Blast. Ktwin elects not to shield up the next Body Slam, knowing his Ampharos does survive. However, we're only going to be able to make a Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing does do respectable chip damages, now all down to Heliolisk to sweep this team. Heliolisk comes in, Greedent so incredibly spammy. This super thick squirrel able to make the first Body Slam. Greedent able to make Body Slam number 2, and we see the final Protect Shield deployed. Ktwin farming up, firing off the Thunderbolt. The opponent makes a catch, however, they're not going to appreciate this catch. We go for a beautiful undercharge on the incoming Charizard, allowing the full Volt Switch farm down. We leave with the Thunderbolt, and Ktwin shows incredible high gameplay IQ and manages to sweep the team. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Virizion into Toxicroak. Yikes. This Toxicroak probably beats the entirety of our team. We see the instant pivot into Ampharos. The opponent going to be getting themselves early shield advantage with the Mud Bomb. We shield up the Mud Bomb. The opponent now send out Shadow Steelix. Target has been acquired. We full send the Focus Blast. Focus Blast goes unshielded, and just like that, we have regained switch advantage. Toxicroak looks for the full counter farm down. Ampharos still not done. Fires off the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing forces a Protect Shield. Ktwin still not out of the woods yet, as Toxicroak is still very much a threat to our team. We send out Virizion. We pause a turn, look to catch the Sludge Bomb. Holy smokes, what a play. No, the opponent are baiting with a Mud Bomb. Heliolisk getting sacrificed to the Pokegods. We get counter farm down before we're able to make the break-in swipe. Okay, we shield up again, a Mud Bomb bait. This opponent, think of all the poor defenseless cats you're killing. We fire off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword forces the final Protect Shield. This Sludge Bomb's going to do huge damage. Virizion now left deep in the red, and unfortunately we get counter farm down and take a heartbreaking loss despite some incredible gameplay. Yet another lost lead, kind of the theme of the video, I think. However, two better responses in the back. We safe switch into Ampharos, drawing out Registeel. Again, we full send the Focus Blast. Focus Blast again goes shielded. How many players here are using that Discord bot? This is ridiculous at this stage. The Big Tin Can fires off the Focus Blast. Ampharos able to withstand the damage. Ktwin commits to the next Focus Blast, forcing the energy off Registeel. And this is now beautiful. Ktwin can send back out Virizion, easily get himself a huge energy lead. And then when Charizard does return, the question will be, does Charizard respect the damage? Ktwin tanks the Focus Blast, fires off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword doesn't knock out. We leave with the Stone Edge. Out comes Charizard. Trainer, you can't shield all the nukes. Stone Edge goes unshielded. Let's go. The opponent's final Pokemon is Tapu Fini, and that's going to be all she wrote. Let's go. GG's and thanks for playing. Ktwin, you must have really upset the algorithm gods. Yet another lost lead. We see the pivot into Ampharos, again drawing out cobalion. Gonna fire off the Sacred Sword, an easy tank for Ampharos. However, what isn't an easy tank is the Focus Blast. Again, full sending. Focus Blast again gets shielded. What is going on? I don't think I've seen so many Focus Blasts respected. My god, everyone's respecting their damage and ruining all of our fun. Ktwin now sends out Virizion. Virizion easily going to be able to tank multiple Sacred Swords. Again, Ktwin always maximising his energy. We're going to tank one further Sacred Sword. Get ourselves close to 100 energy before firing off our own Sacred Sword to secure the knockout. Sacred Sword knocks out cobalion and we see the instant pivot into Heliolisk. The opponent send out Greninja. We're now looking primed to sweep Heliolisk. Go straight for the breaking swipe. Breaking swipe goes unshielded, but just look at this Volt Switch damage. Ktwin with 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind, just going to double shield, commit to the full Volt Switch farm down. Greninja looking, fishing for that boost, but the boost gods say no. We get the full Volt Switch farm down, back out, come Giratina, and it's time for that debuff treatment. The first breaking swipe lands. Ktwin able to outpace the breaking swipe. Number 2, putting Giratina's already non-existent attack stat down to around 3. The double resisted Shadow Claws most certainly now doing absolutely 0 damage, and you can see their Dragon Claws are essentially also doing nothing. Ktwin fires off the next breaking swipe. We go for that wham bam combo play, serving up the Big Mac and the Fry. Stone Edge secures the knockout and Ktwin secures another beautiful dub. Moving on to the next one. If you're wondering what do we do against Nidoqueen leads, the answer is say not for me and move swiftly on. In the next battle we see Defense Deoxys in the lead, another huge core breaker. We bank the Sacred Sword for the road, send out Ampharos, the opponent bank a boatload of energy, send out Scrafty. Come on, Focus Blast, go shielded again. Opponents throwing up shields left, right and centre. Scrafty needs to throw the foul play to secure the knockout. The opponent petrified of the next Focus Blast, go for the correct play. Full send the foul play, back out comes Virizion. Virizion fires off the Sacred Sword, but this fighter, despite having its trousers hanging down its arse, is pretty bulky. They easily withstand the Sacred Sword. The opponent fires off the power-up punch. We fire off one further Sacred Sword, looking to keep some health on Virizion. We do get the knockout. We've got shield advantage, however, Defense Deoxys is going to be a huge problem. Back out comes Defense Deoxys. Ktwin, last second, commits the shield. The opponent fire off the Psycho Boost. This now double lowers their attack. The next Psycho Boost doesn't do too much damage. We're able to make the Stone Edge. Stone Edge going to be doing some very good chip damage. We essentially need as much chip damage on it as possible. Defense Deoxys again fires off the Psycho Boost. The opponent going to be forced to reset their debuff, send out Obstagoon, and unfortunately it's going to be RPS for the loss as the opponent's running triple counter. In the next battle, another core breaker. Let's see how Ktwin plays this one out. To be honest, our electric types aren't that bad into Gliscor. The main thing we need to worry about is that huge nuke of an Earthquake. Ktwin instantly clicks no shield. The opponent bait with a Night Slash. We see no boost. The opponent fire off the next one as they didn't boost. Ktwin knows he's easily going to survive this. We then throw one further Volt Switch, looking to get off 2 further Brutal Swings. Brutal Swing forces the final Protect Shield. Holy crap, the opponent must be incredibly weak to Electric in the back. The next Brutal Swing gets Gliscor down into the red. As the opponent didn't Earthquake us, I wonder if they're running the Jazz H2O Protector, my faction teammates moveset of Aerial Ace. The opponent throw the Night Slash. I'm guessing the answer is no to that question. The opponent throw a Night Slash. After Night Slash, we see no boost. We fire off the Sacred Sword, looking to get the knockout. We do secure the knockout. We see the pivot into Heliolisk, and the opponent is indeed incredibly weak to Electric. Ktwin with 2 to no shield advantage, shields up the liquidation. The opponent continued to stay in, send out Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini isn't in for a good time. We fire off the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt almost one-shots. We get the Volt Switch farm down, and the opponent concedes the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. Deja Vu, another Shadow Gliscor lead, and another lost lead. We see the pivot into Ampharos. The opponent attempt to catch the Brutal Swing. Ktwin shows great discipline, holds his energy. Out comes Virizion. We full send a Focus Blast. Focus Blast does land, but Virizion's so thick. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite do enough damage. The opponent running Leaf Blade as well, which is even worse for us. Virizion able to outpace the Leaf Blade. Number 2, the opponent does manage to keep themselves with alignment. However, we can now send out Heliolisk. Heliolisk gets the Volt Switch farm down and a running start. The opponent taking a while to send out a Pokemon, and clearly they don't know what to send out. They send out Jellicent. Ktwin not baiting, full sends the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt lands for huge damage. Jellicent reaches the Surf. We see the instant no shield deployed as Earthquake is the move to look out for, but let's not kid ourselves. That Surf did a lot. Heliolisk made of paper. We shield up the Night Slash. We fire off the Breaking Swipe. Gonna be applying that debuff treatment. The opponent still hanging on to 2 Protect Shields. Ktwin now going to be all shields down, but the opponent rapidly running out of HP on both Pokemon. Gliscor going to be forced to shield up this next Breaking Swipe. The opponent is now switch locked and double debuff. We see their pivot into Virizion. Virizion going to be able to tank whatever the opponent throws. They throw their Night Slash. We still don't see a boost. We fire off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword going to be forcing the final Protect Shield. These wing attacks are really chunking. The opponent pivot back out into Jellicent. Surf definitely not going to get the job done. Virizion on a sliver of HP over farms, fires off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword is double resisted, but does secure the knockout. Back out comes Gliscor, and Ktwin's energy management on point, and we take that game. Ktwin displaying very high IQ gameplay throughout this video. Finally, we see a decent lead. However, it isn't that decent as we don't have Leaf Blade, which would hit him for super effective, whereas on the contrary, the opponent has Ice Punch, which hit us for super effective. So water versus grass, the water type is in the driver's seat. The opponent fires off the Ice Punch. We then see the pivot into Ampharos. The opponent send out yet another Shadow Gliscor. Holy moly, this thing is everywhere. Ktwin farms up, fires off the Brutal Swing. Shadow and Shadow Crime. It looks like 2 Brutal Swings are essentially going to knock out. So this second one is going to be putting shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent does invest that Protect Shield. They also need to Earthquake to take us out. Ktwin calls the Earthquake. Of course, the opponent Masturbate and they get the boost. Uh-oh. This boosted Night Slash is going to hurt, but Ampharos hangs on, reaches one further Brutal Swing. The opponent likely to ride their boost. Of course, when you get the boost, opponents love to ride it. However, Ktwin goes for that wham bam combo play. Fires off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword doesn't secure the knockout. Night Slash is resisted. However, even with the boost, it doesn't knock out. The opponent gets a double boost. Holy. Gliscor essentially out of HP. However, they are going to make one further charge move, and this is 4-stage boosted. Ktwin unfortunately has to respect the Night Slash. The opponent's final Pokemon is the stupid Tin Can. PV Poke's #1 ranked pick Regi Steel. Ktwin fires off the Thunderbolt. We pause, look to make the catch. The opponent don't fall for it. They counter farm down, and unfortunately that is game over. Moving on to the next one. Virizion into the Bear Trap. You love to see it. What you also love to see is a Gliscopod Say Switch. We send out Ampharos, which essentially isn't our best answer as Heliolisk would double resist the Shadow Claws, but either way the opponent says no thank you and concede the match. In the next battle, Virizion into Flying Umbreon. We see the pivot into Ampharos. Out comes a Tin Can. We full send the Focus Blast, and again we see a Protect Shield deployed. How many Focus Blasts have been shielded in this video? It is absolutely ridiculous. However, speaking of Focus Blast, Ampharos withstands the damage. Ktwin says, fuck it, I'm landing a Focus Blast this time. We shield up the opponent's next Focus Blast. Again, we're full sending. Does Regi still commit both Protect Shields? Yes, they do. Ampharos running out of HP. The opponent unable to lock on. Farmer's down, forced to throw. Okay, we've got all shields down and Virizion's got Stone Edge. This isn't the worst situation. In comes Virizion. We farm up, fire off the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword does secure the knockout. Virizion, one of the very few Pokemon to make Aerial Ask look like Aerial Average, as it will hit for double super effective. We see the attempted Aerial Ace catch onto Heliolisk. The opponent show great discipline, hold their energy and send out Cresselia. We go for the Thunderbolt, looking to maximise our damage output. However, Big Bad Cresselia tanks it like an absolute boss. They fire off the Moonblast. Moonblast does a lot of damage, despite it not getting same type attack bonus. Again, Ktwin farms up, fires off the Thunderbolt on the CMP type Thunderbolt. Finally gets Cresselia into the red Ktwin. Shields up the Grass Knot. Can we get the Volt Switch farm down before they make another move? No, we can't, but stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the next Grass Knot. Onto Virizion, back out. Comes Mandibuzz, Aerial Ace. Double super effective, but Virizion says it's still a trash move. We tank it like an absolute boss and return fire with a Stone Edge. Stone Edge gets this Mandibuzz down below half health. Can we reach one more? The opponent recognizing the next one would be lethal. Fire off the Aerial Ace. back out comes Heliolisk Mandibuzz with too much energy, and unfortunately we're going to take the loss. GG's to that opponent. A very close game despite having pretty poor alignment throughout. In the next battle, not a great lead. We see the pivot into Ampharos. Again, we draw out Steelix. Target has been acquired. The opponent going to debuff us with a break-in swipe, which is going to mean even if we land the big bad focus blast, it won't be lethal. Ktwin throws 2 volt switches and the charge move for optimal fast move timing. We still get the opponent incredibly low despite being debuffed. Break-in swipe does take us out. Ampharos, as always, putting in so much work on the safe switch. Ktwin sends back out Virizion, looking for the double kick farm down. Of course, the annoying Steel Snake debuff us. Before going down, we pivot into Heliolisk and hello Greninja. Ktwin with 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind, calls the Hydro Cannon, a very good shield. I'll be honest, I'd have looked to call the bait and I'd have been very sad. Ktwin again fires off 2 volt switches and the charge move for optimal fast move time, and that's 8 turns into 9, only giving away 1 free turn. Ktwin invests his final Protect Shield. The opponent now fish for the boost. This again is just a Night Slash. Heliolisk is going to tank it, especially after the debuff, really well. Okay, this looks very, very playable. Out comes Weezing. We full send the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt lands for decent damage. Ktwin looks to make a catch. The catch is unsuccessful. However, we've got the Stone Edge locked and loaded. The opponent don't respect it. The opponent hanging on to that final Protect Shield, and they can save it for next season. Overheat does secure the knockout. Out comes Heliolisk, and 1 volt switch is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Ktwin ending the video with yet another very impressive dub. Before we end this video, let's just talk about Ktwin's gameplay. I did say earlier in the video, these battles are a few weeks old. So obviously people's elo were a lot lower. He was around 2400 when this was sent to me, but I have zero doubt in my mind that he's already expert or legend. And that is for 2 reasons. His energy management and fast move timing was impeccable throughout this video. A prime example of that was the final battle, where we saw Heliolisk align with Greninja. So Heliolisk is using a 4-turn move, which is Volt Switch, into 3-turn Water Shrieking. He threw after 2 Volt Switches, only giving away 1 free turn, and that is so important. Greninja is a Pokemon that is so incredibly spammy. If you throw your charge move at absolute bullshit timing, Greninja can get out of hand, but Ktwin was so disciplined throughout this video. Let's also talk about his team building. I'll be honest, this team is pretty spicy. Yes, Virizion is pretty meta. However, both Focus Blast, Ampharos and Heliolisk are more spicy than anything else. Ktwin uses Ampharos with the moveset of Focus Blast. To be honest, his Focus Blast got shielded more often than not. However, he was able to gain himself shield advantage time and time again, allowing Heliolisk to sweep. He also was using the ABB teams, using Ampharos to draw out the hardest counter for electric types, again enabling Heliolisk to perform in the end game. Huge shout out to Ktwin for all them reasons. It was very much a pleasure of mine to shoutcast your incredibly high gameplay IQ. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. My Discord is also linked down below. Come join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We stream live every day. Come hang out. And you can also get some tips on stuff like energy management and fast move timing. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.